Well, here I am, Waifu Belector, here to talk about Hogwarts Legacy. And congratulations, by clicking on this video, you are now officially transphobic. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. No, I'm kidding. Or at least I hope I am. Like I said, I don't make the rules. But whatever, despite J.K. Rowling and her hateful rhetoric, I'm still gonna talk about this game. But I don't really want to talk about the drama surrounding the game. I want to talk about the game itself. You know, what's good about it, what's bad about it, and what's just an indifferent fact. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and do this. And it's kind of tough to think about where to start when talking about this game, but let's start here. This game is fucking huge. Hogwarts Legacy is much bigger than I expected. I mean, I expected it to be fairly expansive, but this is like full-fledged, true-to-life, AAA RPG size. And yes, I know, it's a AAA RPG, so what was I expecting? But I expected it to be that in name and maybe in quality, but in scope, I expected something more condensed. But no, this thing is fucking enormous. A fact that becomes apparent fairly quickly because Hogwarts Legacy has like a cyberpunk opening. What I mean is, my first session I played about 3 hours of the game and I ended up feeling like I'd seen and done almost nothing. And depending on who you are, that can be a good or bad thing. For me, it was a good thing. Because that moment of realizing you've seen nothing in 3 hours is also a moment of excitement for what you could see in the countless hours you'll be able to spend in the game, you know? Not to mention, this game makes you feel confident that those exciting and immersive moments are coming because Hogwarts Legacy shows off its quality in its opening moments. Any worries about a bummy, janky, low quality experience go right out the fucking window in an opening section that I feel like had the explicit purpose of doing just that. The high quality character models and cutscenes and voice acting is immediately put on display, followed by the detailed landscapes and the huge draw distance. It feels like the devs looking you in the eye and saying, this is not the bullshit you were slightly worried it would turn out to be. Then from the moment you arrive at Hogwarts, no time is wasted and you are immediately immersed in the fantasy of being a Hogwarts student. And the student aspect of the game is actually interwoven with the world-threatening narrative, so the main questline alone has you balancing between your academics and your quote-unquote extracurricular activities. And as the game goes on, there is a constant flow of new features being introduced to sell you on the whole feel of being a student, to the point that the entire game is almost a tutorial. And as you might suspect, early on, the combat is introduced. It starts off looking nice and flashy, but feeling a bit simplistic, but as you get more spells and encounter a few more enemy types, it turns into a really enjoyable combat loop. But unfortunately, the game hits a bit of a pacing issue where it seems like everything for quite a while is purely dialogue. All the main missions, all the side missions, everything is only running around and talking to people with very little active participation or combat required. This happens for a pretty sizable stint, and I think it's one of the biggest detriments to Hogwarts Legacy. Really, for about a fourth of the game, it kind of forgets how much it has to offer and inadvertently bores you into forgetting it yourself, which is a shame because there are so many features that the game hadn't presented you with at the time that this lull occurs that it really could have been easily avoided. But like I said, it's a pacing issue. However, luckily, when the game gets back on track, it comes back strong, specifically with more consistent and engaging combat encounters, a lot of which happen in the third act of the main quest line, and it manages to get itself out of the hole it dug itself into during the middle-ish part of the game. Now, I want to talk about the puzzles and side missions a bit. I think the puzzles in this game are really good. Of course, every single one is not a banger, and some are very easy or simplistic, but there are a lot of fairly challenging puzzles that don't at all have the solution spelled out for you, and while sometimes your player character will provide a hint as to what should be done, oftentimes, especially with puzzles in the open world and in the school, your character just won't say anything, and you feel like a real galaxy brain for solving some of them, you know? It's honestly great. But now in regard to the side missions, these side missions are very side. I'm talking side salad, I'm talking mashed potatoes and gravy with the biscuit side. You know, in a lot of Western RPGs like The Witcher and Skyrim and Cyberpunk and Fallout, it's often said that the side content is the best stuff. I don't think that can be said for this game. The best stuff is in the main quest line, because like I said, the main quest line mixes the outer threat with the more grounded school activities. So the best of every aspect of this game's storytelling has already been plucked and put into the main quest line, making most of what you do on the side feel fairly tedious if it doesn't result in a new spell or something, or you're just trying to grind out XP, I guess. But at the end of the day, I can't be mad at it. It's as advertised. It says what it does on the box. In very large letters, it says side content. And oh buddy, this is some side content. But yeah, I think I've more or less objectively covered everything in as condensed a fashion as I can. And all in all, this is a fantastic first effort for a game studio and just a great game. I mean, this is Portkey Games' first time developing something that isn't a mobile game, and they've done remarkably well when you consider that. But even if this weren't their first try, I think it's still objectively a great game. If I had to put a number on it, I'd give it a pretty sturdy 8 out of 10. It's an awesome game, but there is room for improvement, and that's a great combination if you ask me. To be undoubtedly great with obvious room for improvement, it makes the potential of the next game that much more exciting, you know? And also, before I go, you know what? This is kind of just a me thing and off to the side thing. I'm not deducting points for this, but I feel like there should have been romance options, you know? Even if I do understand why they probably didn't do it, and that was probably because of the abundance of adults that will no doubt be playing this game, it might have been seen as problematic for us to have these kids or teens romancing each other or whatever. So I think I get it, but I'm not asking for like cyberpunk sex scenes or something crazy. You know, maybe there can just be, you know, a moment of, oh, I do quite enjoy our time together. I dare say I even fancy you. Do you feel the same, or have I been a fool? You know, some shit like that. And the dates could just be a shortcut scene of like you guys out on a picnic or something, you know, just innocence of youth, I have a crush on you type stuff. I don't know, man, I'm just saying. Anyway, I think I've wasted enough of your time, so feel free to tell me what you think if you are so inclined. But until next time, I am Waifu Collector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and I wish for nothing but peace and love to the trans community. Goodbye.